This is Gotta Talk About It, and you're listening to the fellas.
This is going to cause problems. I don't know if it's because this is happening right after the Judge Kavanaugh mess, but this movie has divided this country. It's a
my God.
mess. Hey, everybody, you're listening to The Fellas. Today, we're watching Sony doing something to salvage itself. It seems like the only thing that's ever going to make them money these days are the Marvel movies. So we're up with Venom. It's, as always, because we just really have nothing better to do and we're whores for money. So it's me and Ray, but we also have the comic book expert, the man who makes me bow my head in shame when it comes to anything comic book related. Dre, the man with the money. He's on the line.
Oh, yeah.
Dre, say hello to the fatherless children.
Welcome, my children. I've brought you nerd knowledge so that you can suckle and become fat.
You should have said, wait. I thought you were going to say, suckle on the teeth of my knowledge.
I prefer what he said. Because that's what they all want. They want to grow in their neck beards and get fat.
We shall suckle till we are fat and can suckle no more.
Remember, be willing to stand for something, even if it means sacrificing half of everything.
Damn right.
You know who else did that?
Who?
A lot of these Lady Gaga fans that went out there to start some...
going ape shit because Venom's killing it this weekend?
Oh, you heard about that. Yeah, apparently... This is before the movie even started, because it's coming out in the same weekend to make sure Venom doesn't fuck with the Lady Gaga movie sales. What's it called?
Born a Star.
Oh, I knew you were going to be watching that shit. Why else?
I wish I would have watched that instead of watching Venom.
What the fuck?
Fuck you.
Damn,
these guys
he's a Lady Gaga fan.
Yeah, apparently so. He must have been one of those guys tweeting negative shit about Venom before it came out. To make sure they go see that Star is Born shit. But you know what? Let's hop into Venom.
Maybe he just wanted to see Dave Chappelle in a movie.
He's in that movie?
Dave Chappelle was in that movie?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ almighty.
He's so overweight, you can't tell it's him.
I might just leave and go watch it right now and say, fuck this review.
Nah, man, you're already committed. You committed already.
You're contractually obligated.
All right. That's called being a responsible adult. All right, let's
contractually obligated. Okay, so here's the idea. And we're really, really going to get into it.
Yeah, just make this short and sweet.
We're going to start taking off our shirt and going to blows after I say spoilers. Because, by the way, just a heads up, anyone that's not a comic book fan, just leave the room now because we're going to nerd the fuck out. We're going to have civil war up in here. There's some strife going on. But the basic idea is Venom's a movie based on the popular comic book character Venom, who's in the Spider-Man books. I cannot remember offhand who created Venom. Was it McFarlane?
Todd McFarlane. He was introduced
during
McFarlane's
Todd
run.
McFarlane was the only thing that made Spider-Man worth a shit. So
in the 90s, yes.
It was possible that he was the one that created Venom, but Venom was a side character. He got so popular, he just fucking blew up. This is one based on Venom, and what happens is follows the character Eddie Brock, who was played by Tom Hardy. He plays this investigative reporter. He stirs shit up, and basically what happens is there's an uber asshole, Mr. Bad Guy Man, who owns a company who's what's his name? Is it Carlton Drake? Is that who it is? Drake?
Yeah.
I just call him Satya Nadella.
Or Evil Elon Musk.
Sundar Pichai.
Evil Elon Musk. I think that's the best way to put it. Played by Riz Ahmed. He owns this company. They had an exploratory space thing. They got some space samples and came back. And so far, we're actually pretty close to the comic. And they came back with these space samples, and something happened which caused the ship to crash. Of living life, which are actually parasites, which have to, imbue themselves into people. Eddie Brock, Tom Hardy's character, gets information about this guy. It's like, I want to do an investigative report. But he gets his dirt from his girlfriend, who's Annie Wing, who's played by Michelle Williams. Pretty fucking hot, by the way. That's just because I'm a black man who loves the white flesh. I may be biased, but I'll take that with me to my grave. He gets information from her laptop. He goes and he starts questioning this guy hard, and the guy gets pissed off and ruins his entire career. And his girlfriend leaves him because he looked on his laptop and he ended up getting her fired. Fast forward a couple months later, he's down and out in the dumps. And then one of the scientists from Drake's place is like, yo, this guy's testing on like live people. This is wrong. I can't do this. Help me expose him. So he agrees and he goes in there. One of the symbiotes escapes and infests him. And that symbiote just happens to be Venom. And basically, all hell's breaking loose. But what it comes down to is that he has to fight the other Uber symbiote to stop all the symbiotes from coming into Earth and basically overrunning the place. And it goes from there. And that's, honestly, it's a standard Hollywood trope of the down and out anti-hero comes back to save the day. There's not much more to say about it than that. But I will say, though, if we can just start with the actors.
Yeah.
Tom Hardy, in my opinion, Tom Hardy does a pretty decent job.
I think he did a great job.
But I would have really rather seen, instead of Tom Hardy, what's the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia?
Oh, my God. You mean Charlie Day?
Charlie Day.
No, Charlie Day's too comedic, though.
No. I don't think there's a problem with being too comedic. You can tell him, like, yo, cut out the comedy shit. I think the thing is, when Charlie Day wants to act like somebody who's losing their shit, because Eddie Brock starts going nuts once Venom goes in there, Charlie Day can pull that off so well.
I don't think Tom Hardy sold that very well.
Oh, you don't think so?
What didn't you like about what Tom Hardy was doing?
No, like you say, when he started going nuts, it was like, it came off a little like hokey to me.
You mean Banish?
No, I love Tom Hardy as an actor. He's one of my favorites. But like the parts when he was going nuts and talking to the doctors, and he was like, "Something's wrong with me. Something's in my head." Was like another take or something. And I was not convinced.
The only thing I didn't like was not Tom Hardy's fault. It was the writing's fault. Because to me, they made him out to be the sort of crazy person that would be smearing shit on the walls.
Yeah, I think he took the wrong inspiration or something.
That level of crazy is not enough to endear someone to try to help you. It's like, yeah, somebody call a cop to get this guy off the street so we can lock him in a room somewhere where he can smear shit on the walls and then die and not bother everyone else.
Yeah.
Because it's like his ex had a new boyfriend who's like a surgeon or some shit. And he's like, no, I'm going to help this guy. Just leave him alone. He's my patient. Just call an ambulance. I'm going to help this guy. And I'm like, someone being this crazy? Yeah, it's not about me giving him a fucking CAT scan. This guy needs to be institutionalized. Just take him off the streets.
and that's what I meant. It's like it's a dumb it's a dumb popcorn movie. Let's not overthink it, but it could have been fine-tuned a little bit better.
Well, maybe
Tom Hardy should have toned down his level of crazy a little bit. I mean, that's what makes a Marvel movie a step beyond what we get from these other studios.
This is one of the first Marvel movies in a long while that needed an introduction. I mean, the last movie to do it was Ant-Man, where you're introduced with a new character and you gotta go introduce you to the world. Well, not really the world itself, but to the villains. And I felt like there was like no real villain towards... I mean, I knew who the villain was, but you really didn't know what kind of foe Venom himself was going to face.
I mean, I knew exactly who he was going to face from the trailers. He was going to fight a carbon copy of what he is, and that's what they did with this movie.
Yeah,
and that's why I did not like it.
Yeah, well,
I would have preferred to see him. Like the first test subject was like some gaunt, slim, crazy-looking white guy, and I was like, I would love for that to be Cletus Cassidy, but I know that's not going to be Cletus Cassidy.
No, I'm going to stop you right there.
You know, he could have fought Slender Man or something like that.
And I'm not.
It would have led to a much more compelling film.
Dre, I'm going to stop you right there. And I want you to visualize me. I'm not taking off my shirt and getting right up in your face, UFC style. But what I'm doing is I'm unbuttoning my shirt and loosening up my collar. And I'm shaking my head. And I'm like, nah, I don't think you're right there, bro.
I don't even wear shirts.
I don't think you're right there.
Oh, man. The sumo's coming out.
Yeah. I think
shirts,
you're wrong there, son. What's that?
I don't even wear shirts.
So you just have conversations about movies shirtless.
Yeah, I don't wear shirts, man. When I go to work, I just spray paint shirts on my body. I use body paint. I'm ready to go at any given time.
Oh, Jesus, we got a fucking Twitch thought on our goddamn stream. All right, well, either way, I mean, you know what? Let's get into the basic story. And because
I thought you got into the basic story already.
No, that was just me talking about the characters. Because in all honesty, there's only three. It's Tom Hardy, Michelle Williams, and Riz Ahmed. By the way, how do you think Michelle Williams and Riz Ahmed did in their performance? I was not really Riz Ahmed. You could have just CGI'd a whole person in there. His scenes were so few and his character was so basic.
I wanted to like him,
Yeah.
But again, he was just like some foil of the day type character.
Yeah, he was a real foil.
You're completely right. They tried way too hard to make him a bad guy, and that's kind of what pissed me off. I'll take an example. For all you guys, the plot is the symbiotes, they can't exist in our environment, like the oxygen and shit. They have to be in a sealed container that doesn't let any of our shit get in. The only way they can live is by inhabiting a host.
To bond.
Yeah, to bond, that's able to breathe in this shit. The whole thing is, it was able to bond with a rabbit. Great. Let's take a bunch of people and start throwing them in there. And they're like, what the fuck?
No, Antoine, you're not doing justice to this premise.
You're telling me I'm not doing justice.
It's like an organ transplant.
Okay.
I can take an organ transplanted in you, but if you're not 100% compatible, the less compatible you are, the more likely it is for it to be unsuccessful. So the symbiotes could technically bond with anybody.
Yeah.
But the less compatible you are, the sooner it'll start eating away at your body and you will die.
Right.
That's why when Eddie bonded with his symbiote, it was a perfect bond.
It was a perfect bond.
That's why the symbiote that got loose in Malaysia kept jumping from host to host because it was burning those hosts out.
Here's the thing.
The symbiotes need to feed because if they don't, then they'll start eating away at the humans, their hosts.
Here's the thing. All the symbiotes are going to be eating away at the humans. It's just a matter of how fast. Even with Eddie Brock, the symbiote was with him for a while. As soon as the symbiote got in him, all he kept hearing, feed, I must feed. And he's shoving random shit in his mouth. But the thing is, the symbiote actually needs living shit to replace your organs.
And
that's the fucked up
I guess we're spoiling the shit out of this movie. So,
this is what happens when you're into comic books.
That was one of the scenes I thought was really funny when he just got super hungry and started eating everything. Yeah, he's like, "This is dead." Yeah, he spit it out.
I pointed that out. Ray didn't notice it, but I did. I'm like, yo, he has to eat living people? Or it's like, no. It's like, yo, he ate some bread and he said, this is dead, and he spitted it out. He has to eat living shit. And if you look at the beginning of the movie, the first woman that gets taken by Riot, the symbiote Riot, she's like, oh, look, eels. And she just takes some shits and starts eating it. It has to be alive. And even better, what's more important is that it's alive with the organs that your body has, because it's using that to replace those organs.
Yeah.
Like when the doctor sees Eddie Brock and he's like, dude, your heart has atrophied. And he's like, how the fuck is that possible? It's like, you haven't been using it in like fucking like 5 days. Your heart hasn't done anything. It's basically just fucking sitting there. I mean, it'll start beating again if blood goes through it, but at this point, it's fucking done. You're going to die. And Venom's like, nah, don't listen to him. I'll fix that. He's like, what the fuck? He's like, no, you've just been alive because Venom's just been there. It can consume all your organs, but it's just doing shit to replace what the organs do. Another difference from the comic, technically a symbiote can get inside of you, but Venom never did that. Venom was always something outside. Like, he could be a jacket and then he covers the outside of you and shit. It's basically a giant armor. But it has been shown in the books that a symbiote could go inside.
When they first introduced the symbiotes, they thought, in the comic books, they thought at first it was just like superficially like on top of your skin, but around the time when they introduced Carnage, the Venom symbiote had successfully bonded like physically with Eddie.
But was it inside of his system?
Yeah, it was actually inside of him at that point.
It was him.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was only Cassie.
Well, that was something that they came up with when they came up with Carnage. They shared a jail cell together, and actually they thought Eddie, because they blasted the symbiote off of him, they thought Venom was dead, but it had already like fully bonded with him, and it was inside of him.
Okay.
Because when Spider-Man had the symbiote, it never fully bonded with him.
Okay.
Oh.
So it was only like covering his body. It hadn't fully bonded with him yet.
I completely believe that because I've never been a huge Spider-Man fan. Spider-Man's good. So I've read enough books to be like, yeah, he's good. But I've never been a huge Spider-Man aficionado. I mean, if I had, for instance, John Davis here, I just wouldn't do the podcast. I just sit and listen.
Did you guys want to sit spoilers already?
Huh? Fine.
Because, I mean, we already gave people the gist of the movie.
We're doing a bad job of structuring this. I feel bad. But yeah, go ahead and hit spoilers. And trust me, people, you're going to get a good review of this. So, yeah, no, I didn't like Riz Ahmed because this character was too snidely Whiplash. He was just too evil. He's like, yeah, let's just throw random people in there. And I'm like, are you fucking serious? Let's
just grab up the fucking homeless and just toss them in there.
Throw them in there and see what happens. I'm like, what the fuck? And then when they start saying, oh, this guy is successfully bonded, but all of his organs are failing. I couldn't figure, I don't know why. Before they even actually said what it was, I was saying to myself, yo, it's feeding off his organs. If we could just figure out what it is. I'm like, I don't even know this type of shit, and I can tell you, if you shove something into someone's body and their organs start shutting down, it's feeding off of their goddamn organs. I don't understand. What's not to understand about this?
They're just trying to speak in layman terms, man.
They were just trying to make it, find an excuse for them to not figure out how to make this work, but whatever.
Again, popcorn movie.
Nothing wrong with the popcorn movie. Nothing wrong with the popcorn movie. And of course, Michelle Williams, she did what she was meant to do, which was sit there and look pretty and hot.
She did a pretty good job.
Yeah, she earned her paycheck.
Everybody else, everybody else is kind of like, they've got like less than like 2 minutes on screen.
Yeah, I mean, everyone else is pointless. There's no need to talk about anyone else. No need at all.
No.
So, now, you were saying earlier that as a comic book fan, you can't help but find this movie lacking because it didn't go over the past things that would lead up to this.
Well, to me, from the beginning, I thought this movie was going to be lacking something.
Yeah.
Because, one,
the
how can you do Venom without Spider-Man?
Right.
You know, that's the key blaring hole right now for me. And then... I could get into the acting, the directing, the CGI. I mean, there's so many things I didn't.
Well,
I couldn't.
Here's my thing. If you're gonna start by saying how can you do a Venom movie without Spider-Man, then you're already walking into this saying there's no way it can please.
Might as well call it Spider-Man Venom.
Sony is trying to stretch out their ownership of the Spider-Man franchise as much as they can, and I knew they were gonna make this a standalone Venom. And of course, there's tons of books that are standalone Venoms, but the first movie is always something of an origin. So I went into this knowing Spider-Man's gonna have nothing to do with it. They did a very fair job of keeping it close, very, very close to the origins of Venom. I mean, they got J. Jonah Jameson's son in there as the astronaut.
I really appreciated that.
Yeah, they didn't do the whole Secret Wars. No, it wasn't Secret Wars. What was it?
It was the original Secret Wars.
It was Secret. That's when Spider-Man got the Venom suit. Secret Wars.
Yep, 1986. Yep.
Okay, so they didn't do the original Secret Wars and whatnot, but they're like, okay, you know what? We'll do the J. Jonason thing, which, if I remember correctly, that was like a reboot of the origin of Venom. Is that right?
Maybe was it the Ultimate? Maybe I can't.
No, I don't think it was Ultimate.
But if that was.
It was before Ultimate. That's definitely it was before. I really think it was a reboot because if you remember the Spider-Man animated series, which I think was in the 90s, they did the whole J. Jonah Jameson's son was an astronaut.
I think in the 90s Spider-Man cartoon that was where the origin.
Right. Yeah. And they took that from I know they took that from the books, and I'm thinking that was a rebooted version of the Venom origins.
Can't say. I'm not that familiar with that story.
Yeah, I may be wrong, but I'm willing. I put like $5 on that. You know that
$5.
Yeah, it's a bet. Betting is wrong. God doesn't like it. Anyway, so I love the fact that they had that. Oh wait, that's astronaut Jameson.
That got me really excited.
I like that. I really did like that. The biggest reason they went at Tom Hardy is because his frame is kind of big. Because remember, Eddie Brock is supposed to be a big dude.
Eddie Brock is huge.
Yeah, but Tom Hardy ain't
all-star footballer.
So with that being said, one of the main things that really let me down is every time he turned to Venom, you would see him shrink back down into a human when he got done.
Yeah,
and that really threw me off.
No, if I remember from the book, Venom did make him bigger. No, Venom did make him bigger in the book, if I remember correctly.
I mean, originally it didn't. In the original Todd McFarlane run, Eddie Brock was just huge, man.
He was the same size when Venom came out?
More or less. He was huge. Eddie Brock was huge. He was, and he had he was a blonde hair, yellow blonde hair.
He's an Aryan Ubermensch.
They would have this guy in the sewer just pumping iron all the time.
You mean
that's all he did was pump iron to beat Venom. That was it.
You mean like Hulk Hogan huge?
Yeah. Maybe bigger than Hulk Hogan.
Dude, it's Marvel Comics in the 90s. Of course he was bigger than Hulk Hogan.
Yeah.
He was bigger than any human being.
Yeah, pretty much. He was
fucking Captain America bitch tits. Remember that? Which artist was that?
He was like Colossus size as a human.
Jesus, man.
Fucking shit.
He was huge.
Oh my God.
How did you know that?
Comic books. Shit. Amateurs.
Well, I still didn't have too much of a problem with that. But what I love
for me, it was a bit jarring because I didn't expect that. And they did it so many times. Every time we did it, I was like, ugh.
What I did like is they spent enough time for you to start liking Eddie Brock because they had to diffuse all this characteristics of you hating Eddie Brock.
Well, here's the thing.
I like that what they did.
What I would have preferred, Ray, if like the comic books, and they couldn't do this. There's just not enough time. In the comic books, I hated Eddie Brock because he's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
I fucking hated him. And then once he goes to Venom and it kind of spins it around a bit and he becomes the anti-hero, I ended up liking Eddie Brock more than Spider-Man. And that's only because Spider-Man was never an asshole but before he decided to become good. Yes, he decided to become good because of a travesty that was of his own design. Him not stopping a bad guy. Yeah, Peter Parker didn't stop a bad guy because he wanted to be an asshole and he suffered for it. But it was just this one instance. But Brock spent his whole life technically in privilege and everything was crumbling down around him and it seemed like it was all because of one man. And after focusing all this rage on this one man and his life not getting better, he says, you know what? Fuck this guy. I'm not going to focus on that. I'm going to focus on me. I'm going to be a better person. And it felt more approachable. It felt more realistic. And I just fuck, I like fucking Eddie Brock. They couldn't do that in this. There's just not enough time. So they just start off with him being an aggressive journalist and him being wronged and blah, blah, blah.
That's true to his character, what he is, his origin.
Yeah, no, of course, which I like that. Yeah, he's an aggressive journalist, but
even comic books, he was married to that same chick, and he
really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, because there's a scene when Symbiote possessed her. That plays back to a comic book cover where Venom actually
pretty hot though.
Yeah, took over his wife, and that's actually like the same scene that they showed in the movie. That plays back to a comic book cover. Just look it up.
What I thought that was them pulling a riff on. Remember the Children of Carnage when all the other extra symbiotes were around?
No. In the comic book, there was a comic series where his ex-wife actually got taken over by Venom, and then in the end, the Venom went back to Eddie.
Well, see, what I thought that was, I never knew that. I never knew that. I thought that was because in the thing with Carnage, when there was like 4 or 5 Carnage symbiotes running around, there was one that was a chick, and I thought that it was a callback to that. I can't remember what it was called. What was it? You remember?
No, they all had crazy names. Like one was called like Toxic. One, it was. Oh my god, man!
But there was a chick.
That never happened. Yeah, there was a female symbiote.
And I thought this was just a callback to that.
The same chick. She was a host for Venom at one point, very briefly in a limited series, I think.
Well, I will tell you, okay, even if it's not as close to the book as it should be, if I'm just coming in watching it, what I like was that they point out that, okay, when the symbiote takes you, basically you're just a host for the symbiote. You don't have much, depending on your willpower, you don't have much resistance. But I like the fact that they kind of point out, I know shit about this place because you do. What you know, I know. Yeah. I have your knowledge and your memories, but they also kind of pointed out that, the way you feel about certain things, I can try to resist it, but it's going to bleed into me too. And they showed Venom, don't hurt your ex, because, they don't even say it, but he's constantly telling him, yo, don't hurt your ex. Don't tell her these things. It's going to upset her, whatever, because Venom was getting feelings for her too, because he got that from Eddie Brock. And I think that's okay, I like that. I like that. It's going both ways, depending on how long you're sucked in. Yeah, I did like that. Pretty awesome. At least tell me this. You told me earlier when the movie was going on that you hated the cinematography, which I thought you were fucking with me. I could not believe that.
Okay.
I love the fucking cinematography on this.
Okay, and this is what I've been told. I did not feel that the CGI was up to par. And I heard that a lot of the Venom was done just pure CGI. There was no mocap suits or anything. That's what someone told me. I don't know how true it is, but it felt like
decent. It looked decent. It had its issues, but it's hard to do like a black, slimy thing.
Hold on, Ray. It being Sony, I can completely believe that they had no mocaps. The Sony needs to cut corners with regards to money. I can believe this complete
also,
CGI.
Even on their last Spider-Man, you could see, not the one that the Marvel one did, but the one before that one, you could still see the bad CG.
Yeah, so, I mean...
It could be the people that they're contrasting it out
been
to.
better.
No, it always could have been better, but my whole thing was it wasn't about the graphics of the CGI.
Also just the Venom design in general, like his head looked too small. I've seen people on Instagram and Reddit.
Now you're going into too many specifics, dude. No, stop that.
It just looks. It just looks a little goofy.
You see, people who go to school and actually learn how to draw. Every friend I have knows how to draw. I can barely draw fucking stick figures. You guys always get super conceited over this shit. Oh, the size of the ears is too big for the head. The size of the head's too big for the neck. This is what we would call a waterhead because of this and that. Man, fuck you guys.
Antoine.
Look, I was roommates with Charles and John. Two people who know how to do.
This is like a year ago. I've seen people Photoshop stills and make it look much better.
You know what it is?
Sony could have like just went on Instagram and be like, damn, maybe we should make the eyes a little bit bigger. It's CG, bro. They can do it.
I don't recognize the difference in this type of shit, man. I don't see the fucking difference. I don't fucking see the difference. Not everyone knows how to do isometric geometry and shit.
You telling me the people who make $100 million movies don't know how to do this shit?
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying
Stop making excuses,
the people who watch $100 million movies don't fucking care. I don't recognize someone whose head is 2 inches too small. I may say, man, that guy seems weird. But it's not going to make me say, oh, this is bullshit.
Now I'm intrigued.
Get up and walk out.
Now I'm intrigued to see what he's talking about here.
What the fuck? You do this shit for a living. How do you not know?
Okay, let me make a bet right now.
Okay.
Did you like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine?
Yeah.
And I'm sure you will. I'm sure you will jerk your dick off until it breaks when you see what Marvel does with Wolverine.
Wait.
You're going to be like, Hugh, what?
What's that supposed to mean?
What? Hugh, what? That old bullshit?
Man, look, man, those are the original movies, man. Hugh Jackman brought it to life.
Okay. When the new X-Men movie comes out from Marvel Studios and not this fucking Fox bullshit.
Okay.
When we're reviewing the movie, I want you to say, that wasn't as good as Hugh Jackman, though. I swear to God, you will not say that. You wouldn't even dream of that. You'd be like, Hugh what?
No, I wouldn't say Hugh what, but I'll say, like, you did a good job.
Look, man,
you talk about
I have to see the movie. I have to see the movie.
Anyway.
Look.
All right. I digress. Topic at hand.
All I know, look, there's only one thing that bothered me about this movie. You know, I'm not really a Venom fan. I didn't read any Venom comic books. I thought it was good.
Eat a dick. Sorry, go on. I meant to say go on.
The one thing that bothered me was the exploding drones. That shit, like, that's a waste of money.
Yeah, that was stupid.
That was like a complete waste of money.
Yeah, we have these drones whose whole job is to fly at you and blow up. I'm like, the fuck? This would probably alert
who would
a lot
fund
of
that?
Authorities. It's not about who would fund that. This would alert a lot of authorities.
There's not one cop on a fucking road.
Get a piece of this blown up drone and be like, yeah, let's go see this guy, this Hamid guy. This should be done.
And I don't know about you, but the moment he turned into Venom in front of regular people just stood there and acted like this was normal.
That's another thing that kind of got me.
Like I would be like, I don't care if I got a gun in my hands. I will fucking just. I say, you know what? They don't pay me enough for this shit. I'm out of here.
Why did the SWAT team show up at that journalism place?
I don't know, because they thought he was King Kong. He was climbing up the fucking city building.
I don't fucking know. None of that made sense.
That's just normal popcorn movie stuff, guys.
Which is fine.
It was just the shitty jokes. It's like, I got this alien monster up my ass. And then
well, I was subtle. I found that subtle.
All right.
No, that wasn't subtle.
Well, he has one up his ass, too.
That wasn't subtle, Ray.
But
I'm saying, based on the sort of person that character was, it was fine. But my problem was Tom Hardy. He's big, so that does help. But the dude from It's Always Sunny, if Tom Hardy says, well, I got this alien up my ass, and this guy has it up his ass too. Okay, that's one thing. The dude from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, I got this alien up my ass, and this guy does too. Ray's sitting there fucking laughing. That guy would pull it off.
Yeah, no,
that guy is a neurotic fucking mess.
How about this line? I'm kind of a loser on my planet too, like you.
I was willing to excuse that. That was cheesy. I'm willing to excuse that because he got that idea from Brock. The way he feels on his planet matches up to the way Brock feels. And how does Brock, he may not say it, but in his head, how does he describe how he
didn't know what they wanted this movie to be, man.
No,
action, shitty comedy. The tone is all over the place,
I don't have
man.
a problem with action and shitty comedy, but they did a decent job of portraying the message they were supposed to portray.
In the end, it was like a turd in the wind.
And that's Drake. How many times do I have to explain this? That was Eddie Brock's terminology. Eddie Brock wasn't talking. How does Venom know English? How does Venom know what a turd is?
It would be one thing if Eddie Brock was like some brash shit talker throughout the whole movie.
It's not about being a brash shit talker.
Venom, brash shit talker.
Look, look. I can grow up.
Eddie Brock is like kind of down to earth guy, and then all of a sudden he has this shit talking alien in his head that just learned English 25 seconds ago.
Yes, because Eddie Brock, he may not ever in a million years say I am a loser, but if Eddie Brock is thinking to himself, I am a loser, Venom is gonna say, yeah, I'm kind of a loser. Just like you, because Venom is associating how he feels about himself with how Eddie Brock feels about himself. He said, well, Eddie Brock wouldn't see himself as a loser. He fucking went back to his girlfriend's place and stared through the window to look at the fucking cat because he's sad.
Antoine, have you ever done that?
Who, me?
Gone to this girl's house and stared through the window? Because, I mean, I don't know. I'm trying to figure out why you like this movie so much.
Well, I've gone to a girl's house with some duct tape and chloroform. That don't make me less of a man. Okay,
Antoine,
I do that shit, and I vote too. I got
Sony
rights.
send you a PlayStation 4 Pro?
What?
Are you on Sony's payroll? What's going on? What's going on?
Okay. This is not about me and what Sony may or may not have done for me.
It could have been because
this is about how I feel about the movie. So can we please not mention Sony and financial transactions?
I think
can we just talk about the movie?
Somebody's on a payroll, man.
Look, you know what?
I really expected you to hate this movie.
We accidentally gave Searching a really good score.
Look, some people say we need to drain the swamp in Hollywood. I say there is no swamp. You're just a conspiracy theorist who doesn't know how good he's got it. There is no swamp. Hollywood is just fine, you know. And once Sony makes this new all-female Ghostbusters Part 2, it's going to fix the Part 1. It's fine. You know, it's just misogynists like yourself that are fucking it up for everyone else. That's all I'm saying. You know, why can't I just see a good movie about a monster that bites people's heads off? You have to come and fuck it all up. Look, at the very least.
That being said,
at the very least, wait, stop. Can I at least say that scene? Okay, there's the master symbiote, Riot, who's like the leader of the squad that originally came there. He fights with Venom. Riot has taken over the body of Carlton Drake. So Venom, using the body of Eddie Brock, they get into it, and the symbiotes come out, and the symbiotes are fighting themselves at the same time. Where both Eddie Brock and Carlton Drake are bursting out. And I'm looking at this.
That was beautiful.
And I'm like, Jesus, please let me get this in the poster. Or if I saw this on the comic book cover, I just picked the book up. If it says Venom on the cover and I look at that, I'm like,
that was very impressive.
I'll just pick it up. Don't even read it. I'll read it when I get home, realize I don't like it, and get pissed. That scene was fucking beautiful.
That was a beautiful shot.
That was some of the best cinematography I've seen in a while.
Okay, I'll let you have that.
So what the hell? I will graciously take that. I'll graciously take that.
Even though I left my car at my buddy's house and we went to the movies together, he drove. I went to take a leak about half hour to go. Mm-hmm. I was ready to Uber home.
Okay. Oh, man.
And not even tell him. I was just going to Uber back to his house, jump in my car, and go home. And then I heard some guys in the bathroom. They were like, yo, man. They were talking about I guess what turned out to be the post-credit scenes. And I was like, hey, man. Is that in the movie? But they were already gone. And I rushed back. I'm like, dude, I think the end of this movie is going to be off the chain.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the post credits.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. I do want to talk about something else.
What?
The action was actually pretty decent. The fighting between the two symbiotes.
I thought that was implied. Wasn't that what I just said?
You know what the action made me think of? I was like, man, if this was Prototype the movie instead of Venom, I would love this shit.
Oh, man. That's actually...
Remember that video game from like 10 years ago?
Yeah.
It's a decent game.
Dude, if this was Prototype the movie on the Sci-Fi Channel, I would be watching the shit out of this.
Yeah, I do believe the worst part about this movie is the villain. Carlton Drake. They just made him 0 to 60 into a villain instantaneously.
They did. I mean, he was a notorious asshole.
Drake, I'm just going to keep calling him Sundar Pichai.
Damn.
That's the president of Microsoft.
Oh, Sundar Pichai.
And
okay, that's kind of what he comes off
the president
as.
Of Google. They're both Indian guys. It doesn't matter. It could be either one.
That's kind of what he comes off as. Yeah, I'm young and I'm douchebaggy and I'm smart.
But before we go into that post-credit scene, I'm really serious. It bothered me to no end that people just realize, like, we see crazy shit. We see, like, we see the Hulk, we see this, we see that. So if I was one of those dude's security details and I'm seeing this fucking shit happen, none of them look scared. They're like, dude, we don't know what the fuck this guy can do.
You don't know what they've
because
seen
it's not a Marvel
there.
movie. That's why.
Yeah. Also, you don't know what they've already seen happen there. I mean, when you see fucking slime monsters possess people and burn them out into nothing but sludge, seeing something like this is really going to make that big of a difference to you?
The lady from the grocery store, she fucking saw this dude get eaten completely, head to toe.
Yep.
And him turn around, whatever. She's like, I would lose my shit.
Ray, what are you going to tell the cops?
Peace out.
I want you to explain to me what you're going to tell the cops.
First of all, why are criminals doing that crime? Shaking down stores. That's fucking. You get 25 years instantly.
Ray, that's called extortion.
Racketeering.
That happens every day.
Yeah, it's racketeering.
It happens every day. But yeah. That being said, it's not a Marvel movie, bro. They don't think this stuff out.
I think they did as good as they could do.
I mean, they could have done better.
They could always do better, man. They could always do better. I mean,
let's go back to the car chase scene when he was on the motorcycle. That thing was so corny.
It wasn't that bad. What made it corny was those fucking drones I told you, man.
So corny.
The drones. Remember, I said the drones. The drones.
It was like when he fly up in the air and then his tentacles shot out and like pulled him back to the motorcycle. I was like, oh God, this is horrible.
Look, they were trying to find good action set pieces to pull it together, man. It wasn't that horrible. I've seen worse.
I mean, yeah, I've seen worse too on the Sci-Fi
like
Channel.
Fantastic Four.
Which Fantastic Four?
The last new one.
Oh, okay, that
I like
that never happened.
I didn't find that one bad, but the action set pieces on that were really, really poorly done.
I liked the last Fantastic Four because it was Ultimate Fantastic Four, and nobody believes me. Nobody believes me when I tell them it was Ultimate Fantastic Four.
You enjoyed that trash?
I did not enjoy their version of Doctor Doom.
You're not saying I did not.
I enjoyed their
I did
idea.
not watch that movie at all.
I
will
not.
let you know right off the bat. I did not watch it because I will not subject my body to torture willingly.
Oh, Jesus.
You know what?
I drink a lot of alcohol, bro. It's like,
Look,
if I'm going to die, I'm going to die doing something I love.
You need to expand your mind. You're not going to expand your mind. This is something different. This is something new. Maybe your mind will reject it, but at least you can say I tried.
So would you claim that you had the rage? You know that's how they made the zombie virus in 28 weeks later.
Which was a bullshit version of zombies.
Yeah. They strapped him to a chair and then they made him watch war. You feel like you got the rage inside you?
No, man.
Dre?
That was Blanca.
No, dude. I'm zen as fuck, bro.
Yeah, from the original movies.
I'm a 40-something-year-old fat man, dude. Rage could kill me.
Well,
Rage?
keep that with pride. Hey, I want to ask you one last thing before we go ahead and review this sumbitch. After the credits, when you finally got to see, was it Cassius or Cassius? I keep forgetting his name.
Cletus Cassidy.
Cletus Cassidy. I keep my tongue gets mixed up when I think of his name.
It's the most redneck name ever for a comic book character.
For a fucking, how do you have a ginger that's a mass murderer? He's a fucking ginger.
That's why he's a mass murderer, dude.
Because he's a ginger?
Let me dye your hair red and tell me how many people you want to kill tomorrow.
But that's not the same.
But
that's my hair being dyed.
And who casted him in the first place? Because, Woody Harrelson is an old guy.
Man, Woody Harrelson, we want you to be this comic book character who's a mass murderer.
Didn't he do that called Natural Born Killers?
No. But here's the thing. We're going to pay you $1 million to be in this thing for 20 seconds. Would you say no?
That's probably what happened.
Would you say no, Ray?
No,
okay.
I'll say
Answer
yes.
my question.
Say yes.
Shut up. Don't say nothing else. I don't want to hear nothing
but
else.
But man, it could at least made his ginger hair a little bit more realistic.
It didn't look realistic in the fucking comic book.
It looked like Mr. Glass. Like they put a red color Mr. Glass wig on him.
Mr. Glass.
Come on, dude.
That's what he looks like in the fucking comic book, Ray. He looks like a goddamn clown.
If the next movie goes forward, I'm sure they'll improve it, Ray. Come on, lighten up.
Ray, have you seen what he looks like in the book?
My opinion? I thought he was going to be in the last scene. I thought Carnage was going to be there. I came out the bathroom. I was like, I'm not Ubering anymore. I can't wait. Woody Harrelson's in this movie, and he's gonna be Venom. He's gonna be Carnage. It's gonna be amazing. And that never happened. And I saw the scene at the end, and I was like, this scene looks like fucking dog shit.
Yeah, and if they do make a sequel, I can all but guarantee you, Woody Harrelson will not be Carnage.
Oh, most likely. I mean,
it costs too much money.
No, he'll do it because he'll probably do some back end deal where he gets paid by how much money the movie makes.
No. That's some shit Sony would have done. That's some shit Fox would have done. Disney is not that fucking stupid.
This isn't Disney.
Oh, I keep fucking forgetting. Yeah.
What? That's why this movie is fucking garbage, because it's not fucking
I wouldn't say that.
It's not
I keep
fucking
forgetting
dude.
it's not
okay,
Disney.
And like, you know, it's a cool thing that you guys keep saying Disney.
Yeah,
Disney
yeah.
doesn't have shit to do with the Marvel
Yeah.
movies. Kevin Feige is in charge, and as long as they make
That's
money,
Sony.
Disney is not gonna fuck with them. And Avengers 4 is gonna make fucking $3 billion.
He
I'm
would've
gonna
done-
watch it 25 times.
He would have been better.
Who was that?
That's that evil-looking kid from
What's his name? The actor. Who is that?
Cameron Mogahan.
Okay, never mind. I don't know who it is. I was expecting that character all throughout the movie. I was glad he didn't show up because that would have been too much. And I did like the way freaking Woody Harrelson made him look. He's come a long way from Cheers. I'll say that much.
I would prefer him to be a little bit more Mickey and Mallory than what he did. I saw that post-credit scene. I was like, this is more garbage. I will not be returning.
You are a
Hey,
hard.
before we jump off the Spider-Verse here, did you get to watch that
Spider-Verse trailer?
Yes.
It looked amazing.
That looks
I'm
good.
watching
That looks
shit.
good.
It looked
Hey, you know what?
awesome.
You know what?
looks
You know what?
good,
You know what,
dude.
Dre? That's some more Sony shit.
I don't like giving Sony money, but I will tell you right now that shit looks good.
Oh man,
It looks
I don't know
when I
how
saw
much money
dude,
did Nike pay to have those Air Force Ones in that trailer?
I will tell you this much. When I saw the first trailer, I was like, oh God, this is Peter Parker passing the mantle to Miles Morales. And then when I saw this trailer, it's like, no. These are
Dude.
different universes. This is Miles Morales' universe. I was like, thank you. I will take that. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay,
If it's
dude,
a different
I saw
universe, I don't
Spider-Gwen,
care what
and
you
I saw
do if it's a different
Spider-Ham.
universe.
If they have Superior Spider-Man in there, I'm watching this shit.
Are you going to bust a nut?
You know he is
Come
gonna
over to
bust
the
a nut,
movie
man.
theater. I'm not even wearing pants. I'm wearing a dress.
Oh,
A moo. Awesome.
No, I'm wearing a dress so I can play it myself.
Hey, don't be getting caught like Paul Rubin over there.
So they got
Not-
so hold on. We saw Peter Parker, we saw Spider-Gwen, we saw Spider-Ham, we saw Miles Morales. There was one more.
There's an
wasn't there?
Asian girl.
Oh, that was one of those anime spider things, right?
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, for sure they're gonna have Rockstar, like Spider-Punk. They're gonna have Spider-Punk in there for sure.
Spider-Punk. No, they also had fucking
Spider-Man Noir.
thank you. That's who I was trying to remember his name. They had Spider-Man Noir in there. I saw him. And you said you think they're gonna have Spider-Punk?
Yeah, dude, Spider-Punk is everywhere, dude.
He's just all over the fucking place.
Yeah, dude, he was in the Spider-Verse comic book. He was in the Spider-Verse TV show. So he's definitely going to be in this, I think. And they have to have Superior Spider-Man in there because that's my favorite Spider-Man of all time.
Superior Spider-Man.
So
Are
now
you
that
familiar with Superior Spider-Man when Doc Octopus took over Peter Parker's body for like 3 years in the comic book?
But here's the thing though. Hold on.
That was freaking amazing.
Remind me, was that a parallel dimension or was that the normal?
No,
Marvel?
that was the real-
Marvel
that was-
616 proper.
I got that. I got
Yeah,
that.
dude.
I never
Doc
read.
Octopus took over Spider-Man's body, became Superior Spider-Man, tried to run the city and try to fight crime, and in the end, he just couldn't do it, so he had to give Peter his body back.
And he died.
Yeah, but now he's back again. There's a Superior Octopus comic book. I have the first 2-3 issues. I just haven't read it yet.
I may need to check out Superior Spider-Man.
Let's rate this now that we got Dre in our
Check it out.
honeymoon.
Okay. What I'm going to do, because we're going to be the furthest polar opposites. I'm going to review it first, and Dre, I'm going to get your review. And then Ray, all the pressure is going to go on you.
It doesn't matter.
Because we're going to, I do believe me and Dre are going to be at opposite ends of the spectrum.
Nah, I don't think we're gonna be as far off as you think.
All right. Well, here goes. For me, and I can, this is hard for me because if you had told me before I went to see this movie that I would give it this score, I'd slap you in the mouth. But after watching it, this movie was fun. It was fun. Oh, it wasn't perfect. Whatever. Assuming I didn't know who Venom was, this movie was fun. It had the action, a little bit of comedy, whatever. It was fun. I am going to give this movie a low, extremely low full price.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me.
It should surprise you. I saw that trailer. I was like, oh, Jesus Christ in heaven. I even told you I didn't want to fucking see this.
You don't want to see half of anything.
Yeah.
We have to drag you kicking and screaming.
Oh, God, but it's still bad. So Dre, I'm giving it a low full price. What are you giving it?
Can I give it 2 ratings with a disclaimer?
It depends on how I feel. put them both through. I'll tell you.
All right. Okay, as a comic book fan and as a movie snob, I say fuck this movie
Okay.
because I almost walked out. I would have walked
So
out.
you want to say straight up garbage, which is the lowest score.
To me, it was straight up garbage.
Okay,
But
okay.
for a casual moviegoer with no knowledge of the movie, I give it a matinee.
I think what would be fair was to say a casual moviegoer with no knowledge of the movie. If you came in and enjoyed yourself, if in your mind it had actually stayed very, very close to the comic, that would have brought it higher than a matinee. But if you say, yo, I'm just some random guy coming in, that's who we go with.
Yeah.
So you're gonna say a matinee.
I'm a bit of a cinema snob these days. I mean, like I said, I felt the tone of the movie was kind of all over the place.
Okay.
It started off with a kind of serious tone, then it went to kind of over the top and silly.
All right.
Dude, I literally said at 3 points, I yelled out loud in the movie theater, like, what the fuck am I watching? What is this fucking bullshit?
All right. No, I can.
And
I
was like,
get
this is the worst thing I've seen in my life. I said it twice, and I was like, and I went to the bathroom. I was contemplating leaving. So me personally, I hated this fucking movie.
Oh,
God
man.
damn, son. Okay.
You know, a lot of people clapped at the end of the movie, so I can be wrong.
So you're gonna go with that peer pressure is a son of a bitch.
I mean, people enjoyed the movie, and it's made $200 million already. So, I mean, I'm wrong. Apparently, I'm the 1%. Yeah,
well, if it makes you feel any better, I've been there.
You know,
I've said the same thing. Like, you know what? I think this is garbage. I think this is shit. This made X amount of money, so fuck me, I guess. And I'd go with that. So
I will say I'm wrong. I mean, certain movies I hated, and I will not change my opinion. This one, I dislike it, but I still recommend it.
All right. So, Ray, it's on you now. We have a low full price and a low matinee. What's it going to be, Ray?
This is pretty rough.
You say that every fucking time I ask you for
I
a review.
know.
Don't give me that shit. Come on.
Hey, look, man, I'm supposed to keep the mantra, man.
Whatever.
Besides everybody else that's not a Venom or was infected by Venom, not afraid of this, that kind of bothered me to no end. I'm going to have to give this movie a high matinee.
Oh.
A real high. I didn't care too much about Venom, but the movie actually made me care about his character, even though I couldn't care about Eddie Brock before, because watching the cartoons and then, watching Spider-Man 2 and 3, and I know those aren't the best examples, but still, I really didn't care too much about Eddie Brock, and this movie actually made me care about him.
Well, I guess that's something.
It's just Christ, a movie, bro. Why you sound so emotional?
You sound like a 13-year-old fucking girl.
Look, man, I'm supposed to represent the 13-year-old little boy.
I can envision some fucking, some fucking high schooler trying to talk you into getting into your panties.
Venom is the equivalent of a movie when we.
I don't know. I guess.
Back in the 90s when we were blessed with some of these raggedy ass hero movies.
Yeah.
The Phantom.
Steel.
Oh my God. Which
Spawn.
For some strange reason, a lot of the shots when Venom had his mouth open reminded me a lot about Spawn. Had really nothing.
Bad CGI.
No, it's the same design. Very similar design.
CGI.
Todd McFarlane.
It's the same guy.
That too. It's time for Spawn, so turn off your lights. I would mute that. I would mute the beginning of that. For such an awesome animated show, I would mute the intro for Todd McFarlane. I was like, oh God, I fucking hate this guy. I just fucking mute it.
I was kind of pleased with the movie. I mean, I could agree with Dre on a certain points, but don't make the CGI better in the second time around. So
what are you saying, Dre?
I invented a totally new rating for Deadpool 2. I would rather watch Deadpool 2 than watch this bullshit.
Oh my
get
God,
the fuck out of
here.
No, I would not watch Deadpool 2.
Jump out the window. Jump out the window now.
And then he goes on the elevator. Pussy.
I found
and he only knows pussy meaning coward. Why would he say pussy instead of coward? Because that's Eddie Brock's definition of coward.
No, that's because that's what the fucking idiots at Sony thought would be funny.
It was actually kind of funny. I think everybody laughed at it in the theater.
It's edgy. You know what I think, Johnson? He should call him a pussy because that's what the kids call each other when they're not cool.
And maybe that's what they said.
I agree with you, Frank.
But watching it,
I'm going to give you a raise, Johnson.
watching it, and having witnessed him learning based on what Eddie Brock perceives, I could see him using the word pussy.
I never heard Eddie Brock say pussy. I'm just saying.
No, but that's how Eddie Brock sees people.
But Eddie Brock got pussy in this movie, though.
Shut up.
Whap! Off screen, though. You know what? I almost thought for
And you
a
did
second,
say,
thought for a second they were going to break my most cardinal sin. My very most cardinal sin when the symbiote went into the dog. I really thought the dog was going to save Eddie.
oh my God.
I was like, dude, if the dog saved Eddie, I am
Honestly-
definitely walking out of this fucking
honestly,
movie theater
I
right
actually
now.
did
I will
too.
walk the fuck out of this movie theater and not come back. I will walk to my car. Because I need time to think about what I'm doing wrong with my life. That's what happened. I was
No,
ready
I
to
thought
walk
that was
the
going to
fuck
happen
my
too,
car.
dude. I thought that was
My
going to
car was
happen
10
too.
miles away.
I thought that was going to happen too.
I did too.
And let's all just be thankful that it didn't happen. That's all.
I was like, yes, someone in that studio has common sense. I'm sure there's a scene in that fucking somewhere in Sony with that dog saving the day. I'm sure there's a scene that somebody fucking made CG of that exists of that dog fucking saving Eddie. I'm certain of it.
Jumping up and biting somebody's nose off or some dumb shit.
No, biting nuts. Biting somebody's nuts. I just know it. I just know it. I just fucking know it. In my
Venom,
bones, I
I'm
know it
going
exists.
to destroy you. Oh, my nuts.
I just know it exists. I just fucking know it exists because I don't put it past them.
Oh, that's great.
All right, so
Alright, fellas.
the official score for this is going to be a low matinee. It's gonna
No,
be
it's matinee.
a middle of the road matinee.
Yeah,
but
it's an entertaining movie, guys.
so the official score, guys, is a middle of the road matinee. I don't think I was wasting my money, but I've heard a lot of stuff from either side. A lot of people fucking hate it. Tell you what, go to it, watch it. If you don't like it, we will owe you a Coke. Not saying we're going to buy it, just saying we're going to owe it. And the knowledge that we owe it should be enough to carry you through the day. Hit the music, right?
All right, don't forget to visit us on our website at g2ta.net, gottatalkaboutit.com. And don't forget to visit us on our YouTube page and Patreon. Man, I tell you, man.
So when is that animated Spider-Man coming out?
December. Along with Bumblebee, which looks really awesome.
Look. Bumblebee looks nicer than it did in the trailers before, but I'm still not going to see it on principle.
Yeah, that's all on you guys, bro. I got nothing to do with those movies.
You're not going to watch Bumblebee?
No, hell no.
Because I'm not watching it. But that's Spider-Man. We're going to see that, though, right?
Hell yeah.
Okay, good.
What about that battle
December 14th? So yeah, I can watch it before I go on vacation.
Yeah, we're going to watch that fucking Spider-Man. We're going to watch the shit out of that. It's looking good.
Look, how about we watch the Spider-Man and then walk in and just go see Bumblebee?
What don't you understand about when I say I'm not watching that shit?
You said
All
that
right.
about everything.
I'll watch it with you guys if we watch it together and then do the podcast.
Oh,
thing.
yeah. That
Extremely
sounds
drunk.
dope.
If you say that, then I'm obligated to see it.
Yeah.
I mean,
You got a grill, Ray? Do you have a grill?
Yeah, I got a grill.
All right. We watch the movie, go to your house, I make some barbecue, we grill out, and then we podcast for 10 minutes about the shitty Bumblebee
How about this?
movie.
How about this?
you know he's going to hold you to that, right?
How about this? If you watch it, I will be plastered drunk for the podcast.
That's a promise?
Dude,
That's a promise.
Because I'm going to
hey,
fucking...
as long as you push the right
Dude,
buttons.
I will pinch your nose shut to force you to open your mouth, and I will literally pour the alcohol down your throat.
All right.
I am the barbecue master. I will. I don't tease people with barbecue. Okay, I will show up with ribs and steaks. And
We'll get the meat. When you
chicken,
tell us
and
what you
we'll be
want,
good.
we'll get the meat. We'll get the
All
meat.
right.
We're gonna make this
Are
happen.
you sure? Are you sure we're not going to be in a coma before we freaking finish eating?
No,
we
dude.
eat-
No.
We'll just have to watch the movie early, film, and then barbecue.
Okay.
Let's do this thing. Let's do this.
All right. As long as Ray's gonna be drunk.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, dude.
That's a deal.
December. Yeah, December.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do
And
it.
for
Let's
any of
do
our
it.
fans that can figure out where we live, you're all invited.
Feel free.
It's not at my house.